that Drau society are the noble families. Now, there are lots of noble families. However, the majority of the Drau that live in the city of Everfall are effectively ruled by 5 of them. And over time, these 5 have picked off different bits of the city. So the names of these 5 are as follows. You have House Delmara. House Delmara is a little out of favour in Book 1, and is certainly considered effectively a house of murderers and sanctioned executioners. If House Delmara turns up at your door, it is either because you have done something to upset them and they are there to lay the ultimatum, or simply you are not going to survive the night. Moving on, we have House Carnite. House Carnite is very much affiliated with House Delmara. They are aristocrats to the extreme. There is a saying that kind of goes through the Drau series that every Carnite is born with a silver tongue. Because they can talk themselves out of almost any situation, but they are also fundamentally excellent listeners and very, very shrewd businessmen and women. So they also perform the function of excellent spy masters and ambassadors and negotiators, because they can go places that others can't. Following on from there, we have House Galseric. House Galseric is one of the biggest houses. It has the most political power, certainly in Book 1. The king in Book 1 hails from House Galseric. House Galseric, their main ability is in soldiery. They are very martial, they believe that might is right, and they will countermount anyone who says that it isn't, usually in a duel. They also have a place in the city of Everfall called the Dark Markets, where they take raw ore, and they have pretty much worked making the silvered weapons that the Drau usually wield into something that is practically an art form at this point. A nobleman's blade is considered almost as important as his hand, and a fair number of them probably come from the Dark Markets because they are that good at them. If there is one thing that the Drau do not export, it is weapons, because they take a long time to make, and they are a little, it is the pride that goes into what the Galserics do is something akin to the making of a katana. It is very personal and everyone is unique. And that is the mentality that House Galseric have. They are quite formidable. From there we have House Trileri. House Trileri is very, very wealthy. It has made its fortune. It is younger than the others, and it has made it through marriage, very, very good trade deals, and some very, very good relationships with another house called House Astalia. House Trileri has no qualms about indoctrinating humans into their ranks, or any other creature that is capable of rational thought. There is another saying that goes through the book that the loyalty of House Trileri runs only as deep as the purse of its gold. Most of the borders of the lands of the Draugar are maintained and garrisoned because of Trileri mercenaries. And when wars do break out, it is House Trileri that generally funds the massive numbers of basic foot soldiers, or that are usually human, that will go out and fight on behalf of the Drogar, because the Drogar are not as many and they don't breed as fast. House Traileri certainly see humans a little bit like cattle. And just like good cattle, they will happily look after their chosen stock very, very well, because it's in their best interests to do so. Falling on from that, we have two more houses that are a little less well mentioned. House Valoris is another very, very wealthy house, and it does so by owning land, large proportions of the Fernfields, important locations within the city of Everfall. Entire small provinces along the coast are all let by the landlords of House Valoris. House Valoris is unique in the sense that it does not have one head of its house, it has two. And consequently, that means that they can be in more than one place at once, which is an incredibly fortunate position to be in. And then finally, we have House Astalia. House Astalia are considered nefarious. They are quiet and a little seditious against everybody. Their mainstay is in ships. They would call themselves explorers, but what they actually are sanctioned pirates. But we're talking something a little greater than the East India Trading Company, for example. The corsair vessels of House Astalia are extremely fast. Shipbuilding is a very important thing for them. Most of the ships that lie in dock in the city of Everfall belong to House Astalia in some regards. Everything from your general transport ships that haul goods from one end of the coast to the other, all the way through to the more military vessels. And those are the 5 main houses. There is one final house that does not specifically rule over the Drau in the same way as these ones do, and that is finally House Letheri. House Letheri is the ruling house. It is a house full of mages, and it is the house from which the crown descends from. At the start of the first book of the Drau series, there has been a change in political power, and the current queen is